If you consider that Pogba is really in front of Dyer, which wasn't the case, he was a little bit in front, but on the side. And then, because he's too far, he pushes his leg on the left to go to Dyer's legs. And then, I think it's for Pogba the way to get a penalty, because he knows that the referee doesn't know anything about football and won't see the trick. That's the only thing for me. So of course I'm going to defend the defenders, but in that case, you know, I don't get it. I think it's a kind of a habit from us to see those penalty and say, well, that's a clear penalty because we saw that 100 times.
Do you know, Dan, what's another interesting one? And you said, you mentioned will Pogba start to Stevie. You know, I do think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is starting to have a huge dilemma about his goalkeeper, because before this lockdown, he was a liability. If you remember the game at Everton, just to name but one game where he cost him and was just crazy, but he's making mistake after mistake after mistake. It's a bit like David De Gea. When he first came to Man United, I remember talking to Eric Steele, the goalkeeping coach, who was working with him, and he was at Derby with me, and he says, Craig, he's going to be a great goalkeeper. And he was right, and he did turn in to be one of the best and be Spain's best, but he's been dethroned by Spain. And there might come a point, if this continues, he's going to be dethroned by United. They've got Romero in the wings, they've got young Henderson in the wings, who's very highly thought of. But he can't keep making mistake after mistake, because it could cost him getting in the top four. So that's a big dilemma for the manager at some point, potentially.
Just De Gea to blame on that goal, Stevie?
No, ultimately, you know, Bergwijn's got through, so defensively there's been mistakes made. Of course, Maguire gets caught. If there's one thing Maguire can't do, it's turn particularly quickly. And so he got caught out, but no question. It's a shot that you expect the goalkeeper to save. And listen, don't get me wrong, I'm not a goalie coach, but how can you try and punch a ball? You're basically making your hands smaller to do that, rather than opening your palm up. If he opens his palm up, then he parries it away. So it's horrible goalkeeping. Yes, defensively it's a mistake. Harry Maguire gets caught. So all round, horrible for Manchester United.
Frank?
Yeah. For the first time today, I'm going to agree with my colleagues. They're completely right. Maguire he makes a mistake because he's slow, and you can't be fantastic everywhere, because I think he's a very good player, but that's really his weakness, and we saw it today. But it's true, like De Gea must do better. He has to save that goal. He made a fantastic save like 5 minutes after, I think, on Son, but that one, no, that's not possible. Even Xhaka couldn't say anything about that.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.